everyone, it's Noor and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys signs that you are toxic to yourself and how you can change that. So the reason why I decided to do this video for you guys is because a lot of times in our lives, we associate ourselves in things that are toxic for us, but we may not realize it at the time, or we may not see that that thing is toxic. And so that is why I'm here to share them with you guys so you can avoid them at all times, because you gotta take care of yourself. And most importantly, you have to avoid everything that is hurting you, that is damaging you, or that is not good for you in any way, shape, or form. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first sign that signifies that you're toxic to yourself is that you apologize a lot when the fault is not even yours. It's one thing when you apologize when you're in the wrong, and it's another totally different thing when you apologize and you didn't even do anything and it's not even your fault, because this signifies that you are prioritizing people pleasing instead of prioritizing your own comfort and dignity. You see, the moment you start saying things that you don't even believe in and do not suit your principles, this is when you fall for everything. And I suggest that you never ever do that, because this goes against your morals, and you have to really be careful if you do that, because when you do apologize for something you didn't do and you come across narcissists or people that are extremely toxic, well, guess what? They will blame you for everything because they see that you don't even back yourself up and you clearly do not care about how you look in certain situations, so they will directly start putting things on you. So please never ever apologize when the fault is not yours, because that is so unfair to you. Now, the second sign that you are toxic to yourself is when you keep hanging out with people who treat you badly. Now, this has a lot to do with you trying to fill a void, or you have a fear of being alone, so you prefer to be in bad company because you haven't learned to love yourself and accept yourself to enjoy your own company to begin with. Well, I'm here to tell you, if you never had the time to know who you are and heal your own traumas and look within, then you're not going to be able to see your own value and recognize whether certain people need to be cut off from your life or not. You keeping toxic people in your life only damages you even more. You know, it's like you're giving a piece of yourself as a bargain. Always remember that. Because you should never tolerate people who are not good for you, who are toxic for you. You should always prioritize yourself. And especially if you're someone that knows that those people you're hanging out with are bad for you, but you still are deciding to stay with them just because you don't want to be alone, then please, you need to go on the self-development journey, look within, and get them out of your life, because only then you'll be able to save yourself. The more you hang out with toxic people, the more you lose yourself. Now, the second sign that you are toxic to yourself is when you keep checking your phone for messages when they are none. Now, this is deeper than it may sound, because when you're always checking your phone, it means you're constantly trying to seek external validation to assure yourself that, yes, I am wanted or I am needed. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you do that, you need to stop it immediately, because that is not good for you in any way. You're only damaging yourself, because you should never ever expect anything from anyone and only expect things from God, because people will disappoint you, but God never will. And when you stop expecting things from people, then you're never going to be hurt, because you're not expecting people to text you, you're not expecting people to call you, and so you'll be able to find peace, because the more you're waiting for that text message or that notification to pop on your phone, the more you are stealing that peace and that comfort from you. And I'm here to tell you, instead of seeking external validation, which is not going to get you anywhere, I'm telling you, you need to look within and get that validation from God, because that feeling you're looking for cannot come from the external. You need to make yourself feel wanted, and so you can feel worth it and important when you spend time with God, because we literally were made in the image of God. We are already worth it. You are valuable, and you don't need to be expecting anybody to tell you, because you already know that. And I'm here to tell you that so you can recognize it and stop waiting for anybody. Now, the next sign that you are toxic to yourself is when you take criticism too personally. Listen, in life, you just have to deal with the fact that you cannot control people criticizing you or not, because people will always have something to say. Even if you were the most amazing person on the planet, they will still find something to say about you. And that is why you need to have that mindset that, okay, just because people criticize me, This has nothing to do with me, and it has everything to do with them, because you need to understand that a lot of times people criticize you because they're just projecting onto you. So when you do realize that when someone criticizes you, it has nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do with them, then you let go of the idea of trying to take things personally, because either way, you cannot please everyone, no matter what you do. And you taking things personally has a lot to do with you not having your emotions in check. That's why you may directly get triggered if somebody has something to say about you, or you read the comment and it's mean, or let's say you hear rumors about you. So no matter which scenario you're in and people are actually criticizing you, you need to know how to control your emotions. Because if your emotions are not controlled, then your happiness will always be in the hands of those people. And that is why this is extremely toxic for you when you take things personally and when your emotions are all over the place. Because then you'll lose your power, and you can only take back your power when you stop caring what people say about you, when you stop caring if people criticize you, when you realize that the only thing that matters is your perception of yourself and what you tell yourself and what you believe about yourself and how God sees you. That's the only thing that matters. Everything else is just noise. And I'm telling you, when you have that mentality, you will literally be bulletproof and you'll not be affected by anyone or anything. Now, the next sign that signifies that you're toxic to yourself is when you keep comparing yourself to other people. Now, this one is pretty obvious. If you compare yourself to other people, you will always be disappointed, I'm telling you, because you're always going to find somebody either more attractive than you, either smarter than you, either more successful than you, taller than you, prettier than you, whatever. You're always going to find somebody that has more than you. And that is why that is extremely toxic for you, because you'll start perceiving yourself as less than. And that should never be the case, because each person is unique in their own way. And so the only person you should be comparing yourself to is who you were yesterday. And if you keep doing that and compare yourself to the person you were yesterday and try to be better than you were, that's how you win in life, because you're not trying to compete with other people. As a matter of fact, they have their own journey. You haven't been in their shoes. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know what their experiences are. And so comparing yourself to them is a losing game anyway, because it's just unrealistic. Now, if you find yourself, let's say, looking at other people and let's say, wanting the things they have, you can always turn that in a positive way and look at them in a way of abundance instead of lack, because it's one thing to look at those people and envy them, and it's another thing to get inspired by them and go on your own journey and achieve what you're trying to achieve. You see, you took that inspiration in a positive way, but never ever compare yourself to them, compare your own journey, your own life, because that's just not realistic. And I'm here to tell you that there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. This is actually one of my favorite songs by J. Cole. It literally says that, yeah, you may look around and feel like other people have a better life than you, but that is not true. God gave you that life for a reason, and you are here on this earth for a reason and for a purpose, and for you to learn and become a better person than you were yesterday. Now, the next sign that signifies that you're toxic to yourself is when you sleep a lot to avoid life. Now, here's the thing with people who sleep a lot. They're avoiding their life because their dreams look better than their reality. They would rather sleep about it instead of wake up and remember how bad their life looks like. Now, the reason why I say it's extremely toxic when you sleep all the time is because instead of doing something about it and working towards achieving what you're trying to achieve, you are literally deciding to do nothing about it. And this is why, if you are at least taking action and you're doing something about your situation and you're striving for something, you're doing better than the 95% of people who aren't even trying. So I'm telling you, never ever be that kind of person, because if you're the type that quits and never goes for something and never tries for something, you'll always be stuck in the same position, and this is when you lose. You see, you trying and failing is better than you not doing anything and you quitting and giving up on your life. This is the real failure. But at least if you try and you fail and you try and you fail, whether you even fail 100 times, eventually you're gonna succeed, because you're tending on to becoming great. And I'm here to tell you that all the successful people that made it failed at one point in their life and failed a couple of times before they became successful. And this is why behind every successful story, there's always failure. And never ever be that type of person that quits and never does anything with their life, because this is when you lose everything. Listen, keep that in mind. If you don't do anything about it, you just guaranteed that it's never gonna happen. Whereas if you keep trying for it, then there's a high potential that it will happen. So always try for it and keep going and never ever quit. Now, the final sign that you are toxic to yourself is when you agree with other people's opinion, even when you have a different one. You reciprocating your own values and agreeing with other people just to agree with them and just to fit in means you don't have a firm foundation to stand on, and that means you don't stand for anything. A person who doesn't stand for something doesn't stand for anything, because a person of value never compromises what they believe in for anybody or anything, because it shows how strong in faith they are, and it shows how loyal they are to their beliefs. You trying to go with the flow means you will never be able to be a genuine leader and voice your own opinion because you're too scared to be judged by other people. And that is extremely toxic for your own character. And when you live your life just trying to please everyone around you instead of genuinely standing for the truth, then you will lose yourself, and that is extremely toxic for your character, for your integrity, and for your confidence. So I suggest if you're somebody that tries to go with the flow with other people or tries to fit in, you need to stop that immediately, because that person never gets anywhere in life and never has a strong, firm foundation to stand on. So yeah guys, that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and I hope that you learned something new. Please take whatever I said into consideration and never be toxic to yourself, because the only person you genuinely have is yourself, and when you lose yourself, you lose everything. So yeah, if you want to see more videos, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below what you want to see next, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.